Thanks for sharing your observations. So now we're going to move on to the inferences section of the protocol. And remember, we want to be focusing on instruction, curriculum, and environmental factors that might be possible root causes of the tardies, because we have more control over those things. You can use your isobiraya matrix as a reference. Now, we can add our inferences onto our initial observations, so we can start using words like because, therefore, and it seems, because we're kind of making a hypothesis.
So, because 7 out of the 11 tardies that Jay has occurred during 4th period, and since he has ELA 4th period, I infer that the tardiness is because he's reading below grade level and he's trying to avoid doing the work.
Okay.
Okay, and Jay has 4 discipline referrals for disrespect, and they were all written during 4th period. And the narrative describes that he was out of class. So I know there's that you're a new teacher, and he's really big on relationships. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to build a relationship with Jay.
Okay. So let's get some more specific information around this target behavior of Jay wandering around the 6th grade hallway alone during the beginning of 4th period. And we're going to try to get some more information just so we can identify patterns and hypothesize a function of his behavior. So under what conditions is this wandering around the building more likely to occur? So is it more likely to occur during specific academic tasks?
Yes.
Okay. And we
ELA.
saw ELA. All right. Is it more likely to occur during non-preferred activities, so independent work versus collaborative versus...
Well, I think just the non-preferred activities, I don't think he likes doing that activity that I have at the beginning of my ELA class because it is, writing, which he's
Okay.
not real comfortable with.
So independent writing?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay. Just capture that on here. Is it more likely to occur when he's around certain peers?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is it more likely to occur when he's around certain adults?
Well, it could be if what Ivy was saying about not having the relationship, if he's not doing it in other places, but I feel like probably it's mostly due to it being ELA and the writing.
Okay.
But that is something to keep in the back of our mind as we're going.
Okay. So I can just make a note of that. Is it more likely to occur during transitions?
Yes.
And the specific transition would be going to ELA. Okay.
And especially, did we look at what class he has before that? Is that a preferred class? That might be something to look at.
What class does he have prior? I think I want to say it's one of those art classes.
So it's one of his specials.
Yeah. All right. Any other things that specifically stand out to us that would increase the likelihood he would be tardy and wandering the building in the 6th grade hall? Okay. So now let's think about when this behavior is less likely to occur. When is he less likely to be wandering around alone in the 6th grade hallway at the beginning of 4th period? Specific academic times?
Well, I noticed that on Fridays I don't do writing the first. I guess maybe that would be preferred activity.
Okay.
But I don't do writing on Friday. We start off with a different kind of group activity, and so he tends to be not tardy on Fridays.
Okay. So you've noticed when you do this special Friday group activity, he's on time. Mm-hmm. Okay.
When Jay likes an activity, he puts a lot of emphasis and a lot of enthusiasm into that activity.
And what might be some other preferred activities we've noticed that he's not going to be tardy because he's engaged in the activity? Anything else that stands out besides the group you mentioned?
No, not that I can think of.
Is this tardiness and wandering around the building less likely to occur when he's around certain peers?
No, I haven't noticed that.
Okay. Is it less likely to occur when certain adults are present?
I haven't noticed, but I can see it making an impact when there's more adult presence in the hallways.
Okay. And we said it is more likely to happen during transition to fourth period. Anything else that stands out to us about when this behavior is less likely to occur? Okay. So just to kind of summarize what we have so far, more likely to occur during ELA, specifically this independent writing time, which happens to be in your class, Ms. Martin, and less likely to occur during preferred activities like the group work that you have on the Friday, and possibly if there's more adults in the hallway, he would be less likely to wander. Okay, so now we're going to kind of identify what specific skills do we think that Jay needs to learn and practice that are going to reduce his tardiness and wandering around the building. And we have 3 broad categories. We can break this down further when we get to creating his actual plan. Is there anything on here that stands out to us that we feel he could benefit from?
Well, I think that he needs some support in maybe his time management and his study skills, and being able to, when he needs help, asking for help. So, of course, when he comes in late, I have to offer him help because he hasn't been there. So I'm wondering if we're able to give him some more skills around being able to ask for help when he needs it, in a non-threatening kind of way, that might help him. So I don't know if that falls underneath problem-solving skills or communication skills.
Okay. Or maybe it's a little bit of both.
I agree. You could use some support with coping skills, especially in situations that are undesirable for him, helping him to cope and be able to still perform even though it's not a desirable activity.
Okay. So now we're going to take a look at consequences, and not just from a negative standpoint, but just what specifically happens right after the tardiness and the wandering occurs. So what are adults doing and saying? So Ms. Martin, you already stated that oftentimes he gets additional assistance after this behavior occurs. Is there anything else on here that stands out to us that he gets immediately after this behavior occurs?
Well, there's definitely, we have a verbal, there's a verbal response because he comes in. What I've noticed lately is that he's starting to have some of those peer reactions where the kids are starting to be like, late again, and that their frustration level is starting to kind of show. So it hasn't gotten too out of hand yet, but I am starting to notice that is occurring.
Okay.
And even an activity change or being removed from the activity, when he comes in late, there's a verbal response or redirection. Sometimes he's sent out of the room, so he's the activity is being changed or removed.
Okay.
From the setting.
All right, that's valuable information, and it's going to help us come up with what we think the function of the behavior is.